When in 2 Corinthians chapter 5, Paul says that therefore we have as our ambition, whether at home or absent, to be pleasing to him. And then he goes on and he gives two motivations for ambition, to be pleasing to the Lord. And I call them, one is the moon and the other is the sun. One is a greater light and one is a lesser light. The lesser light is, for we must all appear before the judgment seat of Christ, so that each one may be recompensed for his deeds in the body according to what he has done, whether good or bad. So that is the first, that is a true motivation for Paul, to be pleasing to God. But then he gives us a greater light, his greatest motivation, which is this: for the love of Christ controls us, having concluded this, that one died for all, therefore all died. And he died for all, so that they who live might no longer live for themselves, but for him who died and rose again on their behalf. And the genitive there, the love of Christ, is not Paul's great love for Christ, but Christ's great love for Paul was the great motivation. And I believe that in some ways for me, I deal with this in the same way that I deal with the Trinity. With regard to the Trinity, I must simply look at the scriptures that confirm that God is one and submit to that. And I must submit to the scriptures that speak of three real and distinct individuals who are God. And here I know that I will stand before the judgment seat of Christ. And I know that, as Dr. Beeke said, I will be judged for even every careless word. But the judge is a father and a brother. And the one thing that I want all of us to realize is that this is to be taken seriously. But I find most saints, when they look in the mirror, they're saddened and frightened by what they see. I know that oftentimes I am. And I find encouragement in something that one night just came into my mind. God did not do all of this. God did not send his Son to become flesh in the likeness of sinful flesh, to live among us, to die, having suffered the wrath of God. God did not do all of this, saint, so that when you step into heaven, the first thing you see on his face is a scowl of disappointment. And that's what so many of you have in the back of your mind. You look in the mirror of God's word, just like you'd be surprised if you went home with me how normal my life is and how much it is like yours. I don't want to pretend anything. And I know how you feel. Like, how can it be? I mean, there's all these great men and these great books, and then there's me, right? You look in the mirror, there's me. Where do I go? Jesus didn't suffer what he suffered so that the first time you see him, he looks at you with a scowl. Oh, be so encouraged. I'm sure Dr. Beeke could say that. You probably know the quote better than I do, but the pastor who was struggling with assurance and one night supposedly has a dream and he sees standing at the gates of heaven and a horn blows and this great entourage, glorious trumpets, and these saints come in, and he asked the angel, who are they? And it was something like, well, they're the patriarchs. And he said to himself, I can't enter in with them. And then another horn blows and more glory. And who are these? These are the prophets. I can't enter in with them. And then another horn blows, far more trumpets, far more glory. And here come the apostles and the martyrs. And he says, I can't enter in with them. But then glory upon glory upon glory is revealed. Trumpets are blowing. And here he sees Rahab, failure after failure in the scriptures, great sinners and yet great glory. And he goes, I can enter in with them. And I probably didn't get all that right, but you get the point.
It was really Manasseh.
Yeah. I knew he would know that. I just always hate it when I talk to him. I'll bring up something and, paraphrase it, and he'll quote it completely and then give me, that's in Flavel chapter 1, page 692, right on the right, I think, second column. And me, I'm just happy I could read the book.